The Fool and the Donkey. One morning, the fool woke up and he thought, "There is one thing I need a donkey." So he left his home and walked until he came to the town. He came to the donkey stall. There were many donkeys. Some were big and some were small. Some had long ears and some very short. But among them there was one donkey that had long, floppy, silky ears. "This is the donkey for me." The fool paid the donkey stall holder, and he led that donkey tied by a rope away from the stall and through the streets of the town. And there were two boys. "We can trick that donkey from that fool." One boy went up and he took the rope from around the donkey's neck and he put it around his own neck and followed the fool, who didn't even notice. The other boy led the donkey back to the stall to sell it. On through the streets and on away from the town to his home went the fool. And when he got to his home he turned and, when I bought you, you were a donkey. But now you've turned into a boy. It's true, I was a donkey when you bought me, but, you see, before that I was a boy. I was rude to my mother, and my mother said, 'If you are ever rude to me again, may you be turned by the devil into a donkey.' And so it was. But now that you have bought me, I am a boy once more and I belong to you." "Don't be rude, you belong to me," said the fool. "I cannot own a boy." Go, but promise me this, when you go to your mother. Do not be rude to her again." The fool slept that night, and when he woke in the morning he realized there was something he still needed. He still needed a donkey. He went away from his home, taking his last few coins, and walked until he came to the town. Through the streets he came until he came to the donkey stall. And there were all those donkeys, large and small, some with larger ears than others. And among the donkeys he noticed there was one donkey with long, floppy, silky ears. He knew that donkey. He went over to it and he lifted its ear and said, "You foolish boy, I said never be rude to your mother again." The innocent punishment. This is a story about Akbar, the Emperor of India, and his loyal and witty advisor Birbal. It was a fine morning in the palace. The royal courtroom was buzzing with conversation as Akbar's advisors awaited the arrival of their emperor. Soon enough Akbar arrived, but he was not in his usual pleasant mood. He seemed bothered and frustrated. The advisors quietened on seeing the emperor's stern face. "What is the problem, Your Majesty? Is something bothering you?" asked one of the advisors. "Today someone dared to pull on my mustache," exclaimed Emperor Akbar. "What punishment do you think this person should be given?" One by one the advisors suggested the fiercest of punishments for the rogue who dared to pull on the emperor's mustache. "He should be hung in the public square," cried one. "His head should be cut off," exclaimed another. "He should be flogged 100 times, insisted a third. The emperor listened to them all, but he noticed that his most trusted advisor remained silent throughout. "Birbal, do you not have anything to say on this matter?" he asked. Birbal calmly replied, "Forgive me, Your Majesty. I do not agree with any of the punishments suggested." Emperor Akbar was very surprised indeed and asked of his trusted advisor, "What punishment do you suggest for such a crime?" "I think," said Birbal, "that the person who dared to pull on your mustache should be given a box of sweets." Upon hearing this advice, the royal court was abuzz with conversation once more. The other advisors were shocked to hear Birbal's suggestion. They all wondered how such a trusted advisor could suggest that the emperor give this rogue a box of sweets as punishment for his crime. "Surely," they protested, "this is not the correct punishment." The confused emperor asked, "Birbal, why would you suggest such a thing, Your Majesty? The only one who would dare to pull on your mustache is none other than your son the prince. He often sits upon your lap, and today he must have pulled your mustache playfully. Such an innocent culprit should only be given an innocent punishment. I suggest you give the young prince a box of sweets." Proving a point, Birble's witty retort made the emperor smile. "You are right, old friend," said Emperor Akbar. "It was my son who pulled on my mustache. And he shall indeed receive a box of sweets as his punishment." Birbal smiled softly as the other advisors looked away in shame for suggesting such harsh punishments without first considering the facts of the situation. To this day, stories of Birbal's wit and wisdom continue to be told and retold to generation after generation.